Hello everyone. We have this amazing being, Nicky Bomba. Would you like to introduce yourself, Nicky?
Well, my name is Nicky Bomba, and he may call me an amazing human being, but it's a direct reflection of this amazing human being, Mr. Punnu Wasu.
So how's your experience with the Bali Spirit Festival? And
yeah, I mean it's a beautiful thing when there's when there's a collection of people and an impetus and a setting of togetherness, and really with humanity, that's kind of the secret, isn't it? Like we both know that how powerful that can be, I mean, when we first met, was like there was that connection of like, you did your kirtans, you saw me play the drums, and you went, wow, let's get together,
yes,
and do that,
absolutely.
And that was a beautiful experience the first time.
Yes,
just being able to apply everything that I kind of knew from a funk reggae kind of basis on underneath this ancient kirtan, and you're singing away and go, wow, this is like a beautiful hybrid. And I remember that as being like, this is very easy, very powerful, and you held an audience so well too, with all of that. And would you agree that in order to actually share that experience, that there's a internal belief system that you tell me about that. What's your
so that's the core of us being one with everything, one with the sound, one with fellow human beings,
one with
with the coconut,
yes.
One with all this, what is happening, and that feeling that comes out through the work that we do, like the music that you bring in and you connect with people and interact, and that beauty that you bring in. So it's all about oneness, togetherness, coming together in different ways, in whichever field we are in.
Yeah, we were talking about it this morning about how you kind of, in some ways, you're blessed with a gift. You're blessed with something. We all have something that's it's either technical or artistic or healing or empathetic or sympathetic, and we tune into that. And I think you and I are completely different worlds, but that symbiosis that we can work together, that together it's kind of amplified. And that's something I would kind of really, realize with you, and the fact of that belief system, always developing the craft, always kind of not being complacent and saying, I can do this and everything, and just I think the idea of always learning, always the student, and that's what brings me joy.
Yeah.
And even like in this particular festival, Punnu does an amazing, a lot of different workshops, but he did one called the Spiritual Awakening, just a 2-day course. And I went from kind of being a participant in the first 5 minutes, a helper in the first 5 minutes, to going, no, I'm actually going to do this course. So I became a student, and there was, there's so many universal things to learn, and it was great to the way that you communicate, and again, your understanding and belief system of what you do. So any questions that were fielded, any queries that anybody had, you had this kind of understanding of like looking further back, or even a higher perspective that went, yes, well, that all comes under this thing. It all comes under this, and if you get that sorted, all the little things will take care of themselves.
Absolutely.
And that was beautiful to experience that. And I learned a lot, especially about relationships. It was a beautiful thing. Because you work with your father too, with
Yes.
Papa G.
Yes.
And this is where you learnt your.
Yes. So Babaji has been my first teacher since I was a kid, and then I went in different ashrams and schools and colleges and spiritual universities, because that's what my call was, and to go deeper within myself to find out the answers, and then spread and share the knowledge. And this is what the 10-step program that we did with the spiritual
the
awakening
10
course.
steps, exactly, yeah. That's one of the things. And, I mean, I didn't even know what a Kirtan was, when it was just like, oh, we're just doing a gig playing, but then there's the spiritual and the purpose behind it, and the idea of, I mean, singing together is a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And that's something like that we both share. And like the performance last night with the Melbourne Ska Orchestra was, and I've learned that if you make the performance inclusive, it becomes, I kind of see it as this electrical loop that kind of goes like that from the band, and we are all in this bubble of energy. And a lot of bands just kind of, the energy stops at the stage. Absolutely. Where it's all about us, that type of thing, and it's not that. But for me, the magic really happens is when that you can feel it to all the ends of the room, the ends of that everyone is kind of, we're in this together. This could go anywhere. This is really powerful. This is, and on top of that, in this setting, how that can be translated into healing. Absolutely. In many ways, personal healing by just being just be able to sing together, and the person next to you is doing it, and it's okay. You're in a safe environment. The idea of the amplified community energy that happens, and then you get an understanding of people saying prayers and mantras together. It's like, okay, that's amplified, and the togetherness is really the essence of where we should be heading with humanity. And Absolutely. You think of all the things that are happening around the world. It was like if that blanket of togetherness was there in the first place, all of those things would just go to the wayside.
Absolutely. And this is what we call it Sangha. Sangha is the community we're coming together, where we do the same work. It doesn't matter whether we are on the stage or we are in the audience. It's just bringing out that oneness about the vibrations that we create, touching their hearts, and that's where the magic happens, when the devotion comes into singing, devotion with the emotion, opening up the hearts.
It doesn't cause a commotion. Devotion and emotion. Okay. You don't need the lotion. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. No, that's beautiful. And also Bali, and especially Ubud. I mean, my daughter used to live here for a while, and I experienced Nepi, and then I had a good conversation when I went to the temple, and that one of the things that the man said was, a part of the upbringing is that you are by default a part of the community. You have to be.
Absolutely.
And going to the temple and playing the gamelan and taking a role, this is just like a foregone conclusion. Mm-hmm. So when I went to the temple and it was quite, I think it's the biggest temple in Ubud. It's I forgot the name of it. And there was the day one of the festival, and there was so many people there with so much goodness and so much beaming kind of feelings of celebration for, the energy of life, really, in many ways, and seeing people singing together, the offering of the flowers, even the humor and the dancing and the dynamics, especially with the Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva, and how that's all entwined into any given moment that is born, sustained, and gone. The day is like that. And it was really lovely to tap into that and just to be an observer and respectful, and seeing which is, I think, why there's a lot of joy in the dedication, the daily placing of the offerings on the altar. This is like a daily thing as part of the structure, and it's. I look at my upbringing and just generally Western upbringing, and you see, wow, how if that was, on a daily thing, if that was implemented more, I think generally, we'd be in a better place.
Absolutely.
Humanity-wise.
The remembrance of the offering. Life is an offering. Everything, nature is an offering. Everything in nature is offering to that one, the divine. So this is what we can learn through flowers,
the statue,
everything. It's all offering to the one, blossoming and and giving, the fragrance. And this is what Bali represents, something unique that the world can learn through. That yes, life is an offering. Life is a celebration.
Did you get that when the first time you came here, or was it?
It was a feeling when I came here first time. The moment I landed, there was a feeling, oh, I have arrived home.
Wow. Okay.
It's like, wow.
Okay, really.
And Bali is very close to India.
Okay.
You
mean as physically or in essence?
In essence and also physically. This is how India used to be 1,000 years ago.
Okay.
It's the Agama Hindu, the culture and the beauty and the rituals and the flowers, incense and the prayers.
Right.
So like, wow.
Okay.
Beautiful.
Home. Yeah. I resonate with that a lot, and I take it back home too, to the point of like, every morning I now have ceremony. And it's changed the way I actually, view the day. This with the offerings and also the Tibetan bowls. All of the chakras and just tapping into, that other level of spirituality and the other level of existence. That's, if we kind of get that right, a lot of things get taken care of. And I keep coming back to that. And that's why I really, Abud and even the yoga barn and is that its essence is raising the vibration of that,
absolutely,
celebrating that and raising the awareness, which is a beautiful thing. And it comes back in through our music. I mean, the band, the Melbourne Ska Orchestra, and we're playing music from early Jamaica, and then with some cumbia and some Latin vibes and some funk and everything. So we're more about the hybrids, and I love the idea of the hybrid, is that you can have that particular culture and that particular culture, but there is a place where that can come together.
Yeah.
And that's what I find interesting about music as well, is that constant search of like, let's try this and try that and try that. And like I said before about the eternal students, I think that's really important. I think as performers to have that
absolutely,
childlike.
Yeah. How did this all started for you? Like going into music and how did you find out and tap into?
Well, I started playing drums very, very young, about 6 years old, and my brother had a band and I joined his band. Michael, my brother, and I didn't really know that I was playing. There was no real. I don't actually remember going, "Oh, I'm a drummer." It was just I was on the drum kit and I was doing it, and next thing I was playing in the band, and so we had a bit of a family dance band, and that kind of worked all the way through. And we used to do all the events for Maltese, because being on Maltese heritage, the Maltese community in Victoria and Melbourne especially was huge. Every different suburb had their own, and every weekend, they love to dance, so that would be a ball. And so it was easy to kind of get into the idea of, okay, this is how it works. But at 16, I thought, do I really want to do this? Is this something that because of just I was with the family, because I was into electronics and I liked kind of all these different things, and I thought, no, I've been given this gift, and that was really the point where I thought, okay, well, I'm just going to really explore this and do the best that I can with that. And there's still constant things of like, learned the guitar, learned how to record, learned the bass, learned keyboards, learned how to make music for people, learned how to produce, and it's still happening now. I mean, recently, I think that the last thing that I'm working on is my voice, because I think my if I have any doubt about anything, it's the quality of my voice, the ability. I wrongly compare myself to magnificent singers and go, oh, I'm never going to sing like that, so should I, but everybody has, and it comes back to that belief system that, it's okay, it's all right, but as long as your transmission
absolutely
is as pure and as giving and as blessed as it could be, and to eradicate all voices of doubt and sabotage, and doubt is a big thing. I've got the victim thing where they don't believe you, you're not good enough, they are scrutinizing you, And when I say they, it's the audience, it's people that listen to your music. And once you kind of remove all that,
Yeah.
because everybody has the same thing, and everybody, so that's a really important thing to kind of like, no, I'm actually doing it because the transmission is pure, and you can either like it or not like it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's just that that force is. So that's the recent thing with the vocals, and then realizing, much like you, I think, where you just you get to that. The older you get, the more refined and focused that transmission is. So it's like, so the last night's performance is a combination of, I know what works live, I know that this is my craft, I know how to orchestrate a band, and I know at any given moment I can stop everything and do something to create a bit more magic and have that fluidity. That's really important. Especially important, spontaneity, where something can go, we can take this a little bit higher here. So trust in that, and trust in the mystery of that. I mean, I often thought about you too, like how did you start on the harmonium, on the tabla and everything? What was that? What was that journey for you,
That started quite early for me, since age 5.
Same.
With my father, yeah.
Okay, there you go.
And then at the age of 9, 10, I was already in the classical training, Indian classical music.
Of harmonium?
Of vocals and harmoniums.
Okay.
Then I went into mandolin. Then I went into tabla.
See, mandolin, that's a traditional instrument of the Indian?
No. It's Italian instrument.
Yeah. Okay.
But in India, Indians love to explore different instruments from different culture.
So did you have a guru for the mandolin as well?
No, not really. I learned it just by listening, because CJ, my brother, he used to learn mandolin.
Okay.
And I used to listen to him playing, and I used to tell to myself, I want to play.
Okay.
So whenever he was not around, I used to pick up his mandolin and just try to.
And he's an amazing drummer, your brother too, CJ. He plays the tabla so well.
Yeah. So he went into drums and mandolin. I went into vocal and harmonium.
Okay.
Then I picked up mandolin and tablas.
Okay.
So that's how the journey began. And at the age of 16, I was already doing gigs, traveling all over India, doing kirtans, and then the journey started with kirtan, Sufi music, going into Bollywood music.
Really?
Yeah, and then world music, instrumental.
I can imagine you dancing in a Bollywood movie.
I'm just waiting for their call too.
Yeah. You needed the producer.
Absolutely, the producer call. So you have, okay, the mic.
Yeah, just a bit slightly now.
Because of the beard?
Yeah.
I can put it on my beard.
That's what he does in the classes. Cheers.
Cheers, brother. Good to go? So you have different bands, different kind of music, like Melbourne Ska Orchestra and Bustamento and other bands, funk, reggae.
Yeah. Well, I mean, as a musician, especially nowadays, because for a while you could actually make a living by just having one band, releasing an album. People would buy the albums, and you support yourself just by doing these two things. But since it became digital, and there's nothing for people to buy. It's just everything's online.
Absolutely.
You have to rethink, and you have to think on your feet. So I have different bands for different budget ideas. So if people's budgets are low, I do the solo act. But I've had to develop that, and that's actually one of the hardest things, because if it's just you and an audience, if you don't have that belief, and if you don't have that sense of giving and sharing, it's going to fall apart, and people can sense that. So that's one of the hardest things. But I've got that now to a fine-tuned it. And what the big thing I've learned is that I'm sharing this with you, and let's have some fun here. Let's get inclusive, and you welcome people. You even ask conversations. Oh, where are you from, or something? Just anything to open the conversation.
Yeah.
And then especially, if someone's dancing kind of strangely, you get them on stage. And when you get someone on stage from the audience, there is this thing that happens. It's like, oh, someone from here is up on there. because a lot of people want to be on stage.
Yes.
A lot of people would like that skill to be able to go blah, 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 but don't have it. And so they buy a ticket or they roll up to a place to kind of celebrate this, to kind of get energized by this. And that's a bit like the person on stage is like a teacher and saying, yeah, take me somewhere. You know, take me on a journey because this is part of something in life that I enjoy, you know, and it's all vibrations, energies, harmonics, magnetism, transmissions, frequencies. That's all we are anyway. So it's just a matter of tapping into that, you know. And then the Bustamento is the next scale up, which is a 6 or 7 piece band, still playing music from the Caribbean and West Indies and reggae and ska and jazz, and we mix it all up. And that is for the middle range budget. And then, of course, if they want the big experience, and a lot of festivals can afford to pay for a 16, 17, 20-piece band. So having those 3 tiers has made it, enabled me to actually make a living by just playing live.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if you take everything away, the live performance from one person transmitting an energy to another person or a crowd is ancient as the world is. And it's a vital role in the community, in the village orator, the village cook, the village baker, the village singer, the village, you know, this is important. And I'm blessed to have that. And then on top of that, I've learned how to record. So I make a living also from people coming to record in my studio.
Right.
I compose songs.
Yes.
And so sometimes these songs are played by other people, or they might end up on some kind of a film or something. And teaching. Yes. You know, which is probably where you probably make most of your living from, you know. But
yes.
For me, it's like workshops and masterclasses. And this is something I'm still developing because there was a lot of people doing what I wanted to be. I wanted to be unique. So it's about fine tuning that. So that's really my bubble of life, you know. And what's yours? What's you know?
That's a beautiful bubble that I saw because I've traveled with you a few places. We have played together, and you just opening the hearts of people, inviting them to come and join, and they just.
Yeah, are we allowed to do this? Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then you see their friends going, oh, yeah, look at him. You know, it's a thing. It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Before I talk about myself, I wanted to ask you one more question about the thing that you do. It's very unique that I've never seen anybody doing this with the sticks. You're just playing the drums, and there's just going all around the room.
Yeah.
And that is so beautiful. How did you come about this idea?
It's funny because that came from something going wrong.
Aha.
Right, which is a lot of they're called happy accidents or serendipity.
Yes.
So at some particular point I was doing a gig and there's no power. The power went out. And so I'm thinking, you know, I'm an entertainer. How can we keep these people entertained? So we went all acoustic and we started playing the chairs, and then we walked in the crowd, and then we got to the bar, and it's all these bottles, and you don't realize it, but the bottles are half full, empty full, and ding, 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 ding. It's like an orchestra, ding, 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 ding. And after that, it became, let's do this every time, and it became a big part of the show.
Yeah.
And a lot of people say, oh, I remember the time that you played the bottles. Oh, we need, you know. And again, this is from at that particular moment, wanting to still please the audience. Yeah. Otherwise, just going, oh, we're going to take a half an hour break until the power goes out, and you go back in the room, and you know. So it's like, no. Yeah. You know, finding that thing. That happened recently at a big festival in it's called Airlie Beach Festival, and the lead singer of the band, quite a famous band, Smash Mouth they were called. They had a big hit, and it was played two songs into the performance. You could see he just went and walked off stage. Oh. Right? And something happened. He had some kind of seizure or something. He had to be taken to the hospital. And the band on stage were like, they didn't know what to do, and they went, yeah, we're just going to take this. This is a big crowd. This is the big night, completely packed, the festival. And they walked on stage, and I was sitting at the front watching this and saying, they can't stop now. They still have to do something.
Yeah.
You can't expect these people. They want their money back and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
And the promoter's going to get, he's freaking
Yeah.
out. So I went backstage and said, listen, do you want us to continue this? I mean, this is obviously something's happened, but we can still put on a show here.
Yeah.
We've got 35 musicians backstage, you know,
Yeah.
surely we can do something. And the manager of the band was against it. And I said, look, what you know, you have a problem here is that if the show doesn't go on, you haven't put on a performance, so you got a problem. The promoter's going to lose a lot of money. The audience are going to be angry. We can fix all this.
Yes.
Right? And we eventually convinced him. And so I went on stage and I talked to other musicians, because it's a language. If I can say, play these chords, play this rhythm, and you can make something happen. You should be able to make something happen. And we did such a performance, and people were joining us on stage and everything, to the point that the following year, they said, can we have that band back? Right? So it's about, and it wasn't about, I want you to play my songs. About, let's save this moment.
Absolutely.
And so having that mentality, I think, has been really important for me. And that was the same thing of when the power went out, that we play this. So yeah, and so I'm always looking for ways to continue the energy of something, especially if something goes wrong.
Yeah.
So that's where that came from. Yeah.
In the last night performance also, I saw you with so much joy and so much energy, enthusiasm that you bring. Where do you get all this from?
Because I've done the spiritual awakening course with Punnu Wasu. That's why. but yeah. Tell me about your structure, as far as, like, you know, this is also a way to, you know, put food in your mouth and pay for your house and everything. So, you know, how is that for you? How does that? What's your structure?
Music, unless you are on the top notch, it's quite to survive and to make money. It's a quite a
lot of hard work.
As a musician, it's a hard work.
Yeah.
Aside from music, I also do a lot of trainings and meditation trainings, Reiki trainings, Kirtan trainings, sound healing trainings. So this is what brings that, you know, abundance, and which I'm very grateful for.
Yeah.
Traveling all over the world and doing this work. I would love to, as we have planned together, to create an album together.
Yes, for sure.
And to travel the world.
Yeah.
This is where I'm seeing my music with your music and combining and taking it to next level. At the end of the day, we are learning and exploring, as you mentioned. We are the students of life, exploring how can we create a music which can not only touch the hearts, open the hearts, and bring that joy, but also bring that abundance in our life.
Yeah, totally. Yeah,
so this is where I'm seeing our future going with you, Nicky, and bringing this to the world. You know.
But you also do like one-on-one consultations with people as well.
Yes.
As part of your thing. And so, what do you actually teach? What are the different layers of things that you teach? Like, apart from the Reiki, you know,
Yeah, different things. So this has been my whole lifelong studies, that how can I study all the different modalities, healing the physical body, the mental, the emotional, the psychological, the spiritual. So this has been my research and learning, and that's how I have helped myself, healed myself, and healing myself and helping others. So what I do is, on the physical aspect, I've studied shiatsu, anma therapy, I've studied Swedish massage therapy. On the mental and psychological, I've studied a lot of like the 10-step program, taking responsibility of life and understanding the law of the unconscious mind, how this unconscious mind plays roles, and how it is divided into two: the lower unconscious and the higher unconscious, where it has a repetitive and compulsive and destructive or constructive, auspicious, creative aspect. And then what are the secrets of life? What is the nature of life? What is it potentials that we can tap into? What is the mantra of life? And then how to grow in life, the growth formula in each and every aspect. Because either we are growing or we are dying. Either we are moving forward or we are moving backward.
Right, okay.
And then healing relationship was a big one for me.
Right.
If anyone who has unsettled relationship with a mother, they go through needless obstacles in life, unforeseen obstacles. They might also go through health issues, love relationship issues.
Yeah.
And those who have unsettled relationship with the father, they might go through financial issues, career, job directions. So this all cannot be proven scientifically, but these are empirical observations.
Right. Okay.
And I was going into that because my relationship with my parents was unsettled.
Okay.
And this was a major milestone in my life, that when I healed my relationship with my parents, I completely had a major breakthrough.
There
in
you
my
go.
life, And then we go into healing relationship with our children. How to be a good parent, how to bring in that love and understanding that they are also beautiful individuals, human beings, learning from them too. And then we go into the healing relationship with the partner, with the spouse.
That was the part that I liked, actually, because it really, when
different levels.
Well, the different levels. It's like, I've never thought about it that way. What level are you at? And a lot of people actually, because I've been, I suppose, through marriages and divorces, and have to work through that, and the fire, and all the things that you need to the tools to negotiate through that. And so people ask me these questions, but your way of describing it was like, I'm going to use that. That's great, and it's really is. It makes it easier. And what I love about us, really, I think, is that where we really come together, and the togetherness here is happiness.
Absolutely.
Is that a real understanding of, like, life should be joyful.
Yes.
And if it isn't, let's find out the things that are not making it joyful, and that might be a lifelong journey. But if you've got your eyes on the happy prize, then I think that's I think that's what I love about you and I, is that we intrinsically and quietly understand the value of the joy of life, and looking at the sunshine.
Jar in every moment.
Jar in every moment. That's right.